This is the first Microsoft Flight Simulator in 1982. And this is Microsoft Flight Simulator in 2020. Not only does it have phenomenal graphics, it is also the first open-world game. For those wanting to control airplanes and explore the world from the comfort of their home, there has never been a more exciting time. This is the evolution of Microsoft Flight Simulator. It all started with a pilot named Bruce Artwick, who was interested in computers. Bruce founded a software company named Sublogic and developed Flight Simulator in 1979. At the time, computers couldn't handle much more than a few lines at once, and it is easy to understand why if you look at the specifications of the Apple II, for which Flight Simulator was developed. It was an 8-bit computer that only 4 kilobytes of RAM and a processor running at 1 MHz. Microsoft gained interest and obtained the license from Sublogic to create the first Microsoft Flight Simulator in 1982. Also referred to as Flight Simulator 1.0, it featured improved graphics with more color this time, variable weather, and time of the day. Version 2.0 was launched in 1984. Minor improvements were made to the graphics and the game's precision. With version 2.0, it was also possible to use a joystick or a mouse. In 1988, Microsoft released version 3.0. It came in a box with floppy disk inside to play the game. Version 3.0 added new airports, had higher frame rates, better graphics, and it was finally possible to use external camera angle. In the following year, Flight Simulator 4.0 was released. The box was almost similar to the previous Microsoft Flight Simulator. It wasn't very clear which version you had, since all the box said was new version. Version 4.0 had upgrade aircraft models, dynamic scenery, random weather, and special modes. Released at the end of 1993, Flight Simulator 5.0 ramped up the realism using texture to create scenery for the first time. Graphics and aircraft were further improved, weather system upgraded, artificial intelligence was introduced, and users could modify their cockpits for each aircraft. After the release of Windows 95, Microsoft developed Flight Simulator for Windows 95. It was almost the same as its predecessor, except for the improved frame rates and additional aircraft. It also included major airports outside Europe and US for major first time. The next edition, Flight Simulator 98, came in 1997. The game was a huge success and sold over 1 million copies. It was the first to take advantage of 3D with graphics cards through Microsoft DirectX technology. 2 years later, Flight Simulator 2000 was released. Many were disappointed that the game demanded a high-end computer to play the game, and even high-end systems. Frame rate stuttering was a problem in some dense areas. Flight Simulator 2000 was a considerable improvement in terms of graphics and details, and allow users to download real-world weather conditions. But the most notable addition was the 17,000 new airports that were added, bring the total to over 20,000 airports. Flight Simulator 2002 was released in 2001, shortly after the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The game introduced air traffic control to communicate with airports, and artificial intelligence aircrafts to fly alongside computer-controlled aircrafts. It continued the upwards trend in graphics, and Microsoft also managed to make the game run smoother. Flight Simulator 2004, A Century of Flight, celebrated the 100th anniversary of the Wright brothers' first flight. The weather engine was improved. It allowed for 3D cloud and localized weather condition for first time. GPS and air traffic control were also improved. Then came Flight Simulator X 2006, The game had improved graphics, higher resolution textures, and a better multiplayer experience. All of which brings us to the latest Microsoft Flight Simulator, released on August 18, 2020. After a 14 years gap, Microsoft unexpectedly launched this magnificent game. Flight Simulator does not only look ultra-realistic, it also simulates the real world as much as possible, with realistic physics and real-world weather data. Meaning if there is a storm somewhere in real life, there's also a storm in-game in same place. In total, the game includes 3700 Airport. It is impressive how Microsoft developed Flight Simulator and able us to explore the world from the comfort of your home.